Hello everyone, welcome to Sam Science View channel. In today's video, we are going to listen to a science fact. What does clutch in a car mean? So we are going to see about what this clutch in car mean. So before getting into the video, please watch this entire video, and if you have any clarifications regarding science related doubts, you can clarify it through this channel. Now let's get into the video. If you have ever driven a manual shift car, then you are probably familiar with the clutch. It's the third pedal from right that you have to press in order to change gears. However, you might not know exactly what the clutch does, especially if you have only driven cars with automatic transmissions. What is the clutch and what do they need to do in a car? Because your engine is always spinning, there has to be a way for the wheels to disengage so they can stop moving. This is where the clutch comes into play. It can disengage the wheels without killing the engine. So what this clutch do here is, everyone knows that a car has an engine to power it, but not everyone is familiar with the clutch or how it works. This mechanism both engages and disengages your power transmission from the driving shaft to the driven shaft. It connects rotating shafts, and there can be two or more of these under your hood. If you drive a manual transmission, the clutch is connected to both the shaft coming from the engine and the shafts that turn the wheels. While the motor is going to spin constantly, you don't want the wheels continually spinning. One of the rotating shafts is going to be connected to the engine or power unit. This will be the driving member, while the other rotating shaft or driven member provides output for work. For example, a drill has a shaft that is driven by a motor and one that is driven by a drill chuck. The clutch connects the shafts so they can be engaged, that is, spin at the same speed, slipping, that is, spinning at different speeds, or disengaged, spinning at different speeds. Typically, you will find that these motions are rotary, although linear clutches are possible. The clutch is one of the most important parts of any motor vehicle, whether that's a motorbike, car, van, or lorry. Clutches are essential to the operation of vehicles. Clutch is the mechanism within a vehicle which connects rotating shafts and transfers power from the engine to the wheels. Without a properly working clutch, power does not transfer properly and therefore the car won't shift. The engine in a vehicle is constantly rotating, so the clutch acts as the way to either engage that rotation or disengage it to move or stop. The clutch is connected to a shaft that comes from the engine and the shafts that provide energy to the wheels and ensures that both shafts are spinning at the same speed when working properly. The clutch is made from a clutch plate and a flywheel. When disengaged, springs keep a pressure plate against the clutch plate. Then, when putting pressure on the clutch pedal to get into gear and begin moving, the same springs exert pressure onto the clutch plate so that it engages with the flywheel. This action ensures that the engine shaft is connected to the wheels and that both are turning at the same speed. Once in motion and you want to change gear, putting pressure on the clutch pedal will remove the pressure plate from the clutch plate to momentarily disengage the shafts while you gear up or gear down and gives you control over the speed of your vehicle. So now let's see how this clutch is being designed. In order for your car to come to a stop without the entire engine having to shut off, the connection between the wheels and the motor has to be broken. Your clutch is made up of two main parts. First, a clutch plate, and the second is a flywheel. There are springs in place that keep pressure on a plate that pushes up against the clutch plate. These springs also push the clutch plate up against the flywheel. When this happens, the engine shaft is connected to the wheel shafts, making both turn at the same time. In order for the opposite to happen, you have to engage the clutch. This presses down a release fork which pulls the pressure plate off of the clutch plate, essentially breaking the connection between the rotating engine and the moving wheels. The wheels may continue to spin, but this is from their own momentum, not the power produced by the engine. When you drive a car with an automatic transmission, the clutch works a little differently. A torque converter, which is part of a large series of systems, is what connects the engine to the transmission, making the wheels spin. In fact, there are several different types of clutches, which include friction clutches, multiple plate clutches, cone clutches, centrifugal clutches, and wet versus dry systems clutches. Frictional forces are what clutches rely on to operate. Frictional clutches connect one moving member to another one that is moving at a different speed or not at all to get it moving at the same speed so that there is no slippage. Various materials are used to create this friction. They include compound organic resin, copper wire, ceramic, and composite paper. You will mostly see ceramic materials used in racing or heavy duty hauling situations, though this material can increase wear and tear on the flywheel and pressure plate. With wet clutches, you find the use of composite paper. Because these types of clutches tend to use an oil bath or flow through cooling method, they have less wear than ceramic material. Multiple plate clutches have more than one driving member, making them ideal for racing cars such as Formula 1, Indy 500, and club racing as well. In drag racing vehicles, a lot of abuse goes to the clutch, which is why they often have this type of clutch. It can also be found in motorcycles and diesel engines with mechanical transmissions. Additionally, you might find one in a car with an electronically controlled all-wheel drive system and in some transfer cases too. A cone clutch has a conical shape and its taper means that it approaches or recedes more slowly than a disc type clutch. What this translates to is that speeds of the shift hub and gear wheel are synchronized to give you smoother shifting when you change gears. It's most likely that you will find a centrifugal clutch in a vehicle such as a moped or machinery like chainsaws, where the speed of the engine defines the state of the clutch. When the RPMs of the engine rise above or fall below a certain level, it will either engage or disengage the clutch using centrifugal force. A wet clutch system differs from a dry clutch in that it is immersed in a cooling fluid that lubricates it to keep it clean and extend its life. It's important to note, however, that this type of clutch will lose energy because they tend to be slippery. Stacking multiple clutch discs can help to compensate for this slippage. A dry clutch, on the other hand, uses friction as it isn't bathed in liquid. Some common clutch problems may arise. It is possible to get up to 80,000 miles out of your clutch, but you will need to treat it well for this to happen. Some most common clutch problems are the wear and tear. constant friction will cause the materials of your clutch to wear out. Second, broken cable. The tension needed to push and pull the cable isn't enough, thereby, the cable may be broken. And the third, leakage. Leaks. If the fluids leak out of the cylinders, there won't be enough pressure for the clutch to function properly, thereby, the clutch may be getting some problem. And then, misalignment. The wrong amount of force is transmitted when you press the clutch or gas pedal. So, due to misalignment, also the clutch may be worn out. Next, air in the line. If air gets in the line where fluid needs to be, you won't get enough pressure in the system for it to operate correctly. Next, hard clutch. If you find that you need a lot of force to get your clutch to work, this would indicate that there is a problem. So, by knowing what your clutch is and how it works, can help you realize when your vehicle isn't running as it should. Avoid these problems by changing gears quickly, smoothly, and not riding the clutch, among other things. So, if you are using a car, just pinpoint all these things and know about the clutch, what is it, how it works, and just smoothly apply it. So, that's it for today's video. Hope so you got some scientific facts about what the clutch mean in a car. So if you have any science related doubts, you can clarify it and comment about it. Thanks for watching this video. We'll meet in the next video with the next scientific fact treasury series. Until then, it's goodbye from Sam. Take care.